home of the sports fan, with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN.
Sounds great, guys.
WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig.
Let's go!
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Let's go!
Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Josh Hennig.
Of course, we got the time here for a Football Friday to talk about the Eagles-Giants injury report. Some interesting news that came out earlier today. Some of it we expected. Some of it, well, I'll be honest, I didn't see a couple of those items coming. Get to all that this hour. Plus, Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press will join us, get more into NFL Week 7, all right here on 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. Of course, text board is open as always at 609-403-0973 in your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. So I'll get you my keys to the Eagles game a little bit later in the hour, but we got to get to the news of the day, because most of us expected that Jordan Mailata would not play this Sunday because, one, he didn't practice all week. Two, all the reporting out there, no matter who your favorite Eagles beat reporter is, they all are pretty much reporting the same thing, that Jordan Mailata is going to miss at least a couple weeks with this hamstring injury. But then today the news drops separately from the injury report. The Eagles, they got a little slippery with this, right? They come out with the injury report, and then about 30 minutes later, it's oh, by the way, we're placing Jordan Mailata on injured reserve. So that changes part of the conversation for the Eagles moving forward, because you came out of last week's game a little concerned, but you thought, okay, well, if Mailata and Goddard miss a couple games each, it's not the end of the world, right? You looked at the game and said, you know what? We know that you miss these guys for a week or two. It's okay. It happens. But boy, oh boy, I did not see him missing 4 games. He's required to miss 4 games now, is Jordan Mailata. And as I wrote about at 973ESPN.com in my Eagles injury report article, part of the reason why this is significant is because now you are taking arguably one of the most stable players on your team and taking him out of the rotation. No Jordan Mailata is a huge loss for Philadelphia. You're talking about a player who has basically been one of the most consistent players for you over the last few years. And this is not a slight to anyone else on the team, but Lane Johnson, he's missed games. Landon Dickerson, he has missed games. Most of the guys, except for Jason Kelsey, who started all those games in a row, most of the guys on this team have missed multiple games over the last few years. Remember, part of the reason why Isaac Seumalo is no longer here was because he too missed games, and Philadelphia wasn't going to invest a ton of money into that guy for him missing some of the games that he did. Jordan Mailata, over the previous 3 seasons, 2021 to 2023, he has started, not just appeared in, okay? He has started 47 games. 47 out of a possible 50 games that the Eagles have played. So the last 50 Eagles games, Jordan Mailata has started 47 of them coming into this season. Expand that to this year. 50. I'm not good at math on the radio, obviously. 52 out of the last 55 games, Jordan Mailata has been on the field. Landon Dickerson cannot say that. Lane Johnson cannot say that. So you're losing a player who has been available every single week, almost every week of every season. Look, the Eagles have played without Dallas Goedert numerous times. But Jordan Mailata, you're losing your stabilizer at left tackle. So that changes the conversation for this team moving forward because now, look, Fred Johnson can say all he wants, that he is more comfortable at left tackle than right tackle. He can say all he wants that, oh, I don't mind being at left tackle. But folks, I'm telling you right now, this Giants defense has an elite pass rush. This Giants defense is a very, very good rush defense. Pass rush defense, I should say. And that's why one of my keys for this game is going to be run the ball. And, we were talking with Adam Malamet yesterday, the creator of Universal Basic Guys, talking about how, Eagle fans have for years been asking this team to run the ball. But this is more than just a t-shirt phrase or something that guys say over and over again. This is a literal game plan. The weakness of the Giants defense is their run defense. They are not good against the pass rush. So, as a result, I don't think it's a question that the only way to offset the loss of a guy like Jordan Mailata, the only way to offset a guy like Dallas Goedert not on the field, the only way to maximize Saquon Barkley in a revenge game, and Barkley can say all he wants, it's just another game, I'm looking forward to winning with the Birds. Philadelphia has been on the winning side of this rivalry for the last 10 years. This is the 186th meeting between the Eagles and the Giants this Sunday when Merrill Reese and Mike Quick call all the action here in your home for Eagles football in South Jersey 97.3 ESPN. In the last 10 years, the New York Football Giants are 4-15 against the Eagles. That is not a cliff note. That is not a small thing. That is not a simple number. 4-15 is as one-sided as it gets in professional football. And so if you are an organization like the Eagles, your priority is to find a way to win the game. And the priority of winning the game is also implementing your best strategy for success. Part of the reason why everyone has been questioning Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni, bringing up the fact that you have not scored any points in the first quarter of any games this season. The reason why this is a talking point of Sal Palantonio on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, the reason why this is a talking point of Dan Orlovsky on Get Up on ESPN television, the reason why this is a talking point of every single football show, even inside the NFL. Chris Long on the Greenlight Podcast, every show has brought this stat up. If you are the Eagles, you got to stop whatever you think you're doing and start coaching this team to put these guys in a position to be successful. And to have the most success this Sunday is to go to Jeff Stoutland, to go to the offensive line and say, boys, it's time for you to pave the road. Because the Giants' run defense is among the worst in the NFL. They are one of the worst run defenses in all of football. Their pass defense is elite. They have the most sacks in the NFC. They have the second most sacks in all the NFL this year. This is the pass rush that will have Brian Burns, that will have Dexter Lawrence, as I wrote about on 97.3 ESPN.com and on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. They will have two of their best defensive linemen for this game. And Ojulari, you heard us talk with Charlotte Carroll from The Athletic on Wednesday's show. She brought up that Ojulari has been better than Thibodeau was as a pass rusher, as he is playing for Thibodeau at this point. And if you have a Giants team that is going to be without Andrew Thomas, don't let the Giants think they have a chance to beat you. You got to go out there, run the ball, wear down the Giants defense, take the steam out of their ability to go get the quarterback. Don't let the Giants dictate this game. If you are without Jordan Mailata, don't overthink it. You still got Landon Dickerson. You still got Lane Johnson. Mekhi Becton has played very well at right guard. We got to give that guy a lot of credit for making that transition, and Jeff Stoutland the credit for coaching him up. You just tell Fred Johnson, Fred, we're not asking you to hold, I'm not saying they should hold anyone, but to hold on to any of these pass rushers for a significant amount of time. We're going to run the ball to soften the Giants defense, so when we do pass the ball, the Giants defensive line is already a little gassed. Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN, hanging out with you on a Football Friday edition of the show. Yes, we will have Football Friday picks in about 35 minutes from now is when we'll get to the Football Friday picks. Also coming up in about 7 minutes from now, Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press will be joining us to talk more about NFL Week 7. And don't forget, this Sunday for Eagles and Giants, hang out with me at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton, where we will be giving away prizes at halftime of the game. You have your chance to win a Saquon Barkley Eagles jersey. Did you know that Saquon Barkley has the number one selling Eagles jersey in 2024? Well, you have a chance to win a Saquon Barkley Eagles jersey. Plus, we will have other prize giveaways, including the final pair of tickets to David Spade's comedy show in Atlantic City, as well as tickets to the Skullville Haunted Hayride going on right now on the weekends. So all that and more, we are giving away tons of prizes, but you must be present to win this Sunday for our Eagles-Giants watch party at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton. Come out and join me in the 97.3 ESPN team. It's going to be interesting. Eagles-Giants, always a very interesting game to preview, watch, and talk about. And a man who knows it very well from covering the Eagles for many years at the local level. Now he covers the NFL nationally. Rob Maaddi joins me next on 97.3 ESPN.
This is South Jersey's official home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles continue the 2024 season this Sunday in New Jersey against their NFC East rival Giants.
He's going to go! Touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
Listen to all the action with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick with pregame coverage starting at noon and kickoff at 1 p.m. This is the play-by-play home of the Philadelphia Eagles, 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Fall Sale and get 30% off paints and stains from October 11th through the 21st. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Hey, Frank, looks like business is booming. What are all those tabs you have open on your computer?
Oh, hey. Well, this one is for my SEO company. This one is for my website company. This one is for my CRM. This is for invoicing and estimates. This one does email. And this one does billing.
Geez, that sounds tricky to manage.
It's clunky, but I need all this to run my business. Wait, you run your own business, and you're even busier than I am. Don't you have all this stuff, too?
I do, but I get it all on one screen with the Town Square Business Management Platform.
What's that?
The Town Square Business Management Platform is an all-in-one tool that helps me grow and run my business. It combines website, billing, and scheduling into one program.
That sounds simpler than juggling all the tools I have now, but you still need someone else to help you find new business, right?
Nope. They have powerful digital advertising built into the platform as well, which helps me keep my calendar full. You can get a demo of the product for free. Check out their website. See if it makes sense for your business.
Go to townsquarelocal.com for a free demo of the Town Square Business Management Platform. Visit townsquarelocal.com. That's townsquarelocal.com.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN. NHL, the Flyers lose their third straight game on Thursday night as they fell to the Seattle Kraken 6-4. Scott Lawton scored twice for Philadelphia, but the Kraken put up 4 goals in the second period. This wraps up Philadelphia's 4-game road trip to start the season. Home opener will be on Saturday against the Vancouver Canucks. NBA, the Sixers wrap up their preseason schedule tonight. They're in Orlando to take on the Magic. Philadelphia coming off a win against Brooklyn Wednesday. The regular season opener will be next week against the Milwaukee Bucks. Eagles and Giants play at MetLife Stadium on Sunday. A return to New York for Eagles running back Saquon Barkley, who's 4th in the NFL in rushing. Philadelphia sitting at 3-2, the Giants at 2-3. Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert will be out with a hamstring injury. Catch all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN with coverage starting at noon. I'm Tony Desiri, and that's your Sports Flash on 97.3 ESPN.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to health care. And that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. Lots of blue sky, dry air, and dry weather in the forecast, with a warming trend pushing temperatures well into the 70s this weekend. Tonight will be chilly, though. Clear skies, low temperature 47. Sunny and mild tomorrow, high of 70. We'll see more sunshine on Sunday with a high of 74. And the sunny, warm weather continues next week. I'll just come out and say it. We could come close to 80 Monday and Tuesday. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
No longer qualify for New Jersey Family Care? You may be eligible for quality, affordable health plans through Get Covered New Jersey that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, and more. 9 in 10 enrolling qualify for financial help. Learn more at getcovered.nj.gov.
This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
We'll check it back in on the text board in about 20 minutes from now, 609-403-0973. And your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. But as promised, right now, joining us, Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press. Of course, he covered the Eagles for many years here in Philadelphia. Now he covers the league nationally. He joins us right now on 97.3 ESPN. Rob, welcome in to a Football Friday. How's it going?
Hey, Josh, what's going on?
Not too much. So let's start with this. It's interesting going into this game, Rob, because this is the 186th meeting between the Eagles and Giants. And I got to tell you, I feel like every time these teams play, it's always a more competitive game than people thought. And I think this game is going to be an interesting test to see, do the Eagles coaching staff learn from their mistakes, Rob, because there's been a lot of accusations about Kellen Moore, about Nick Sirianni, about the offensive coach's inability to score in the first quarter of games. So I want to know from you, you've seen a lot of editions of this rivalry. For you, what are you looking at going into this game when the majority of people are saying, boy, this Eagles offense, is it the offense? Is the offense the biggest eyeballs?
I think it will be a close game. Anytime the Eagles-Giants match up, as you mentioned, Josh, these teams are I-95 rivals, division rivals. There's a lot of bad blood between them. And even when one team's up and one team's down, or both teams are up or both teams are down, they're usually close games. I'm looking for a Saquon Barkley breakout game here because obviously we know the storyline. He's going back. He's facing a team that let him walk. So, and that would be essential for the Eagles to be able to work their way and have some offensive sort of build up some momentum and really kind of allow that offense to kind of show what they're capable of. You have all these big name players. Now I know Jordan Mailata is going to be out. Dallas Goedert's going to be out. And those are two holes that you certainly have to fill. And it's going to be a little bit challenging, but it's not as if they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Lane Johnson out. We saw what it looks like when those guys aren't playing. A lot of questions, obviously, this week. I thought, Josh, what was really interesting, and a lot of former players weigh in, and usually I will take former players' input and opinion more so than you would really value someone else's. And when somebody of the stature of Kurt Warner, I'm sure you saw his breakdown and what he tweeted, and I'm sure he got some negative reaction to that too. I don't know why. He's just stating what he sees. But when he talks about the Eagles being on their third offensive coordinator with Jalen Hurts, and the offense still sort of looks the same, and believing that maybe that's what Jalen Hurts is most comfortable with, and the offense is catered to him, which makes sense. You cater the offense to the strengths of your quarterback. But if the offense isn't evolving and the offense isn't getting better, and we don't see steady progress, and we don't see guys playing to their potential, then you start finger pointing. Is it Kellen Moore? Well, Kellen Moore has had a more diversified looking offense on other stops in Dallas, in LA with the Chargers. So when he comes here, is it Nick Sirianni calling all the shots still? I don't think that's necessarily the case. I don't feel that Nick Sirianni took that step back, brought in Kellen Moore, kind of listened to what Howie and Jeffrey Lurie wanted, and then is insisting behind the scenes that the offense looks the same as it had under him the past 2 years. So I kind of feel like the offense is Kellen Moore's trying to work with what Jalen's most comfortable with, what Jalen does best. And that's what we're seeing, where it's sometimes predictable. It's sometimes not working. And I don't understand why, Josh, because you got the pieces, and it's not as if Jalen Hurts didn't have success prior to 2 years ago. He was a tremendous MVP candidate, and he had a nice game against the Cleveland Browns. And I know the offense sputtered, but Jalen kind of picked it up and made some plays. So I'm kind of looking to see this offense sort of break out, led by Saquon, opening things up for Jalen and the deep pass game and the short pass game as well. But I think he could take some shots, especially with Saquon. If he has a big game, he could take some shots deep to Devontae, and he could take some shots, obviously, deep to AJ. He loves doing that.
All right, so I want to backtrack something you mentioned because you talked about how guys like Kurt Warner and others have said, hey, the offense does not look like Kellen Moore offense. I mean, even, guys like Dan Orlovsky and Sal Palantonio have said the same thing, that this is not Kellen Moore style of offense. But isn't that an indictment of Jalen Hurts?
It's a good question. And I believe to some extent it is, in that Jalen isn't capable, maybe, of doing what Kellen Moore needs. However, you can look at it as, you can certainly look at it as an indictment, but you can look at it in another way and say, well, the offense is going to be catered around the strengths of the quarterback. So Jalen can do some things very well. They're not doing a lot of RPOs as much as you would think with a guy like that's Jalen's effective in the RPO game, and they're not doing as much. And I believe Kurt Warner called the passing game, the concepts, as they're simplified, they're simpler. Well, when you have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, you don't really need to complicate things. Just go beat your guy, and they do it, and they do it often. And you saw Jalen connect with him a couple times last week, and especially the one where they end the game essentially, and he hits AJ with an absolutely gorgeous throw and a beautiful over-the-shoulder basket catch. Like, it was perfect. So I think some folks want to take that as an indictment of Jalen. I can understand it. I think that's probably where Kurt Warner was getting beat up by Eagles Twitter, because that's what they do.
Sorry, but Eagles Twitter doesn't count. Okay, I mean, I have taken the position a long time, Rob, that I don't acknowledge social media as the real world. So as far as I'm concerned, probably 2/3 of everything on social media is probably fake anyway. It's probably just someone trying to get a reaction out of you so they can look, oh, I got this person to respond to me. Like, that doesn't count.
And that's a great perspective, man. That's a great perspective. I don't necessarily believe Kurt Warner meant it as an indictment, because I heard him explain it a little bit. And certainly, like, you would hope that Jalen is capable of running any offense. But even when you look at a guy like Tom Brady, comes from New England to Tampa Bay, Bruce Arians is there. He's got the no biscuit, no risk it, no biscuit, whatever the heck that, right?
You got it right the second time, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not what Brady liked to do. And yes, he has Mike Evans and he had Chris Godwin. He's got these guys, and he did throw the deep ball, and he did have career high numbers, even at age 43 and 44 and 45. But they also did work within what he likes to do, what works for him. And I feel like there's got to be a balance. There's got to be a happy medium. I'm not ready to say that Jalen Hurts can't be an effective quarterback in Kellen Moore's offense until I've seen at least half the season, and even more than that. I think they're still growing. They're still getting more comfortable with each other. You had a game 2 weeks ago where you didn't have three of the key pieces on offense. I'd say of the top four guys, they're number 2, 3, and 4 behind Jalen. And you got to work Barkley in there too as well. But I'm not ready to say that. I think there's the jury's still out there, and I think Jalen can do some big things. And I took what he did in Cleveland. I know people were upset in the offense, and there was the boos, and Sirianni's reaction on the sidelines kind of stole all the headlines. You're talking about a defense that, although they're not as good as they were last year, was number 1 in the league last year. Jim Schwartz, obviously, the game meant a lot to him, and this was a tough defense that they were able to. Eventually, Jalen had some nice numbers against. He didn't put up all the points, but he had, like, you could say, obviously, they ran out the clock at the end. Maybe they could drive and score a touchdown. And now you're talking about 27 points instead of 20 points, and it certainly looks a whole lot better.
Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press, senior NFL writer, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig here in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. So let me backtrack something you said, because you talked about the type of offense that Hurts is comfortable with. And here's the part of that conversation that I don't understand when people, and again, I'm not trying to throw Jalen under the bus. I want to preface that by saying I'm not an anti-Jalen guy. I've always been, but part of the reason why I've been a positive Jalen guy is because I felt that 2022 confirmed what I thought about Jalen in 2019, which was if you give him a coach who knows how to communicate to him, like Lincoln Riley did, and don't tell me the Lincoln Riley offense was simple, because it is not, all right? There's a reason why certain quarterbacks have been successful in it and others haven't. Because if you're saying that Lincoln Riley's offense is not good, then what you're saying also is that Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, and Baker Mayfield stink. All right? So the reality is that, to me, I see an offense in 2022 and 2019 where Steichen and Riley got through to him. So whatever they did with him those 2 years, it's not happening right now, Rob. So why are the Eagles incapable of just literally going back and saying, well, there's a lot of mesh concepts in 2019 for Jalen Hurts. Well, in 2022, there's a lot of RPO work, right? You know, it's not like Jalen is incapable of being a quarterback. We saw, as you mentioned, with the A.J. Brown throw. It's not like he thinks he has to run all the time. So, to me, if you have a team that has a former quarterback as the offensive coordinator, shouldn't the former quarterback just be like, hey, man, I saw you do this in 2022 and this in 2019. We're going to do that. And guess what, Rob? They looked good, aside from the 2 interceptions. They looked good in week 1 against the Packers. What happened to that offense?
And that's the big question, because I believe, and while defenses certainly can figure things out and how to defend you and how to try to take some of those things that you do well and take some of those away, you still have players who are like, when you add Saquon Barkley to the mix, it should, in theory, take so much pressure off the pass game and put a whole lot of uncertainty in the defense's mind, because you have a running threat and you have the weapons at wide receiver. Now, when you talk about taking what Jalen did well in 19 and prior to that with Lincoln Riley, that's all understandable and doable. And I just point back to, like, look at 17 when Nick Foles stepped in as the starting quarterback. And what did they do? He came in, he finished out the Rams game nicely and led them to a field goal, and they win that game. And then the next week, I believe, was the Giants. They fell behind. They came back, put up some points, won that game. Then the following week was a Christmas game against the Raiders, and it was windy, and Derek Carr sucked, and Nick Foles was terrible. And people were questioning Foles. And then there was the following game was the Cowboys game, and he only played a series, and Torrey Smith dropped the ball, and they would have had a score, but he didn't. And now people are talking about Nate Sudfeld. So what did Frank Reich and Doug Peterson do? They went back to 2013. What did Nick Foles do best? They brought the Chip Kelly RPO offense that, even though Foles isn't any threat to run the ball at all, but he can certainly hand it off in the RPO game. So they went back, and yeah, that was 4 years, but here we are, like, talking about Jalen, and why can't we go back 2 years and do what he's doing well, what he did well, and what worked so effectively? I can't believe that every defense is capable of shutting down the 2022 version of Jalen Hurts and that Eagles offense. Even if they got a read on it, even if the book is they got a book on it, even if they know, if you start incorporating some of those concepts and you start playing that way, that style, I can't imagine every defense is going to be, even if they know, even Josh, even if you know it's coming. Like, I love schoolyard football where I'll tell you, right, hey, what I'm going to run a 7-yard slant here, and I'm going to beat you on it. Like, even I don't care if the defense knows what's coming. At some point with that offensive line, with that talent, you should be able to man up and beat everybody. So if we're looking to indict someone, it's hard. Like, I can't put it fully on Jalen. I can't put it fully on Kellen Moore right now. And I can't put it fully on Nick Sirianni. But there's a possibility they all have a piece to this, and they're still trying to figure it out 5 games in, and they're 3-2. And man, I say this every week. They're winning the NFC East, barring injuries. The Cowboys aren't going nowhere. And I just don't believe in the Washington Commanders winning that division under as great as he's been, a rookie quarterback. I think they got some holes defensively.
It's going to be interesting, Rob. And as you mentioned, it's so perplexing why people do some of the things they do sometimes, which leads me to the next thing I want to ask you about, because you cover the NFL as a whole. Not one, but 2 wide receivers were traded this week. I think we all expected the one, Davante Adams, right? That was kind of like you kept checking your watch, like when's that trade going to happen, right? But Amari Cooper to the Bills honestly might be the more important move, because of the fact that the Bills already had an MVP candidate in Josh Allen, putting on the Superman cape, going out there and winning games, or at least trying to at least. Didn't work out so well with the Houston game, obviously. But, man, now you give him a legitimate receiver. I mean, the Bills might be the real winner from this weekend. You look around the AFC, if you're a team like Kansas City, if you're a team like these other teams that are, think that they are going to maybe just, have a good time, I think Buffalo right now has really put themselves in a position to scare people.
I thought that was certainly a big move for them, because one, it came on the heels of Davante going to the Jets, but they also have a 2-game advantage, 2.5 essentially, in the AFC East over the Jets, because they beat them, and the Jets got to be just feeling awful. Like, they're 2 field goals away from 4-2, but they also didn't play well enough. There's a terrible, Aaron Rodgers hasn't been, he just hasn't clicked with his receivers. So he desperately needed a guy like Davante Adams. But Buffalo going out and bringing in Amari Cooper, if he can play effectively, and I don't think he's going to be the guy he was when he was 25, 26, and the guy with the Raiders and the Cowboys, but he can still get open. And what happened to him in Cleveland is just a product of being on the receiving end of Deshaun Watson, who has completely gone in the tank. He's terrible right now, and it's unfortunate for Kevin Stefanski, a 2-time AP Coach of the Year, that he's forced to play the guy because the ownership traded a slew of assets for him and gave him a $230 million contract. But he's not it. He's not the answer for the Browns. So Amari Cooper joining, I like Shakur and then Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid and the guys that they have, the pieces that they have. They needed someone who can also not only set the tone for the younger guys, but a guy who can be a go-to when Josh Allen needs a 3rd and 13. And although he can run for it sometimes, and I would have put that past Josh Allen on any given down, but a guy that he can go to in a clutch spot. And I feel like you said, a lot of people look at, Davante Adams goes to the Jets. Well, they're still 2-4, and they still got to climb. And there's a lot of teams you got to catch. They're a ways away. Talk to me when you at least get to 500. They're playing Pittsburgh they're playing Pittsburgh on the road, and somehow they're a favorite against a 4-2 team. That is kind of odd to me right there, and that led me to take the Jets anyway. But Amari Cooper kind of completes the Bills in a way, and Josh Allen's playing at such a high level, such an elite level, that this was a big AFC East day, Tuesday, and I was in Atlanta for the NFL owners meetings, and so much going on, and then these bombshells are dropping, and we have the owners are there. I don't know if you saw any of Woody Johnson talking about everything that he talked about on Tuesday, and I haven't had too many chances to interact with him, but I'm standing there I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, he's making Talladega Nights references, and it was. Now I understand why Bill Belichick's taking shots at him.
Listen, I have taken the position, Rob, that people like Jerry Jones and Woody Johnson, We need less, not more of them. That's my position.
And Jerry didn't speak. He didn't, because he had that whole big blowout.
Oh, he got it out on the radio. Yeah, you put it all out on the radio.
Yeah, he didn't want to talk to us. We all gathered around, and he was not. That was he did it with a smile though. Jerry's always smiling in front of the cameras, regardless.
Rob, before I let you go, I did want to ask you a bit of a side point about, because you mentioned about the owners meeting. Moving forward, you look at the state of owners, and there's been a lot of conversation this week on other media platforms about, a lot of these owners getting older, Rob. Jerry Jones is 82 years old. Woody Johnson's getting older. Like Jeffrey Lurie has said he's going to eventually, hand the keys to his organization over to his son, right? We could very well in the next, 5 to 10 years see a completely different group of people at those owners meetings than who you just saw. Talk about the potential changing of the guard in the NFL, because, if I remember the stat correctly, I believe it is almost 70% of the league is over 70 years old who are the owners.
Yeah, and most of these owners aren't selling their teams. When you've got an investment like that where they bought it for way less than the value, the values have skyrocketed. So they're not selling. What I think we're going to see, Josh, is because of the new structure and the league allowing more minority investors to be able to buy into teams, you're going to see the Tom Brady's and the Richard Seymour's, former players and other perhaps entertainers and celebrities who have the ability to buy 4-5% of a team. And we're going to see an influx, I think, of that, but still those guys aren't going to be majority owners. They're not going to be the face in front of the cameras answering to the fan base and answering to the media. Although Mark Davis is so in love with Tom Brady, he wants to make him a big part, and understandably so. Your team's been terrible for a long time, and you've certainly run it into the garbage can. So anything Tom Brady can offer you. But other than that, it's going to be like, Jeffrey to Julian Lurie and Jerry to Stephen Jones, who's not a spring chicken himself, right? If Jerry's 82, I'm guessing Stephen's close to 60 or somewhere. I got to look his age up, but they're going to keep, for as much as they can, keep him in the family. But, I see Jim Irsay, he's 65, but he's had some health situations, and he's got several daughters, and they're Kaylin Irsay Jackson's front and center. She's, taking more interest in being there and being part of these owners meetings. And we're seeing some of that too, some of the younger generation in the family stepping up. So you're right. It's going to be a different feel, different look. And it's interesting to see how that's going to play out.
Well, I just looked it up. It's almost 2/3 of the league owners are 70 and older. So
almost 2/3. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the reason it's almost 2/3, you got to look at John Mara is 69. Mark Davis is 69. So as of
with
a
no
year
kids,
from now, they will be in that category.
Yeah. And Mark Davis doesn't have any children. So
is that part of the reason why Brady's involved, maybe?
Yeah. The Raiders future is, there's a lot of uncertainty there when you look at ownership. It stops, the Davis family stops at Mark.
Wow. That's just wild. I didn't even know that. The fact that a man not named Davis is going to be owning the team in potentially 15, 20 years is
right. That's crazy. And that very well could be Brady. Who knows at that point? It only needs
Although I gotta say, no offense, Mark Davis, but how does everybody else have kids and you don't? What is up with that? Did you just never find the right woman? Good grief.
That's a good question. Although maybe, I don't know if it's something about, I don't want to go too deep into it. Maybe not capable. I don't know. That's a good question, though.
You're going to adopt.
I don't have to ask that, though. Right? Hey, Mark, what happened? Are you,
I mean, Kurt Warner's got like a basketball team worth of kids. He adopted half of them.
Yeah. Well, he could always do that. He might adopt Brady as much as he loves him.
That would be an interesting legal conversation. Like, at what point is a man too old to be adopted or not? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the legalese of that. I think we should leave the conversation at that. Rob Maaddi from the Associated Press, senior NFL writer. Also Saturday and Sunday mornings, Faith on the Field here on 97.3 ESPN. Rob, appreciate you jumping on. Enjoy the week, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks, Josh. Keep up the great work, buddy.
Appreciate you, Rob. Rob Maaddi joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. We'll check in on the text board coming up next, 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And don't forget our Football Friday picks, all that and more coming up next on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. Of course, Fanatics Sportsbook is now live at the Gallery Bar, booking games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Go to the Gallery, go to Ocean, go for the win with the Fanatics Sportsbook. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hey, Eagle fans, this is Josh Hennig inviting you to join me this Sunday for our 97.3 ESPN Eagles vs. Giants watch party at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton. Come out for your chance to win a Saquon Barkley Eagles jersey and other great prizes we'll be giving away at halftime of the Eagles-Giants game. You must be present to win at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton for our 97.3 ESPN Eagles watch party. So come out and watch the Eagles game and win prizes this Sunday at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Don't get left in the dark. Calvi Electric, a certified Generac dealer, has you covered. From installation to maintenance, they're your go-to experts for Generac generators, ensuring your home stays powered through any storm. A Generac home standby generator will automatically restore power to your home during an outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Put your trust in Calvi Electric, the premier electrical contractor serving South Jersey for over 115 years. Visit calvielectric.com today or call 609-345-0151.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Halloween's coming alive at Target. Jackie and Gordy, the Jack-O-Lanterns, here with a front porch view of Target's Halloween deals, like 20% off costumes with Target Circle. We're talking rock stars, witches, princesses.
Ooh, I think I'd look good with a cape.
I think so too, Gordy. Plus, hit the trick-or-treat jackpot with 20% off candy.
Now that's how you get porch traffic.
This week only, save 20% on costumes with Target Circle and 20% off candy. Make your Halloween come alive at Target. Restrictions apply.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card, good for use at the Ravioli House in Wildwood for just $25.
This great deal is on sale now at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
Seize the deal.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
All right, before we get to the Football Friday picks, it's time for my keys to the Eagles game. I picked for the Birds this Sunday versus the Giants. So here's the deal. I gave you my first key of the game is going to be run the ball. Philadelphia's got to run the ball, folks. They have to get back to basics. They got to let Saquon eat. I think Saquon's going to have a pretty good game. I really do. So I'm looking at it like this. I believe the Eagles are got number one, run the ball. Number two, you have to neutralize Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is a phenomenal talent. In fact, I was doing a little research, and I want to bring this stat to you guys about Malik Neighbors. Here's how good Malik Neighbors has been this year, and this is why he's so dangerous. Malik Neighbors has 386 yards receiving this year. 156 of those yards have been yards after the catch. That means almost 41% of the yards Malik Neighbors has gotten has been because the other team either can't tackle or can't cover him. Philadelphia has to eliminate him from the Giants' offensive game plan. If Devin Singletary or any of those guys want to have a solid game, let them. Eliminate Malik Neighbors. Put whoever you got to put on him. Quinyon Mitchell, double team him. Just bracket him completely out of the game. That's the number 2 key. He is back this week, returning from concussion protocol. My number 3 key for the Eagles game. Do not let Daniel Jones have time to think. I think the Eagles defense showed you against the Browns they are more than capable of getting to the quarterback. And guess what? No Andrew Thomas for the Giants. He's got a Liz Frank injury. He is pretty much done for the year. So if you are Philadelphia, go get the quarterback. Send all of them. Send the house. Go nuts for this game on Sunday. I think the Eagles win the game, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So give me Philadelphia. I think the Eagles are going to win the game. I'll say 24-14. Actually, no. You know what? I'm going to correct that. I think Philadelphia wins the game 21-10. I don't see the Giants scoring a lot of points in this game. I think Philadelphia's defense is going to do the job. The offense is going to be the question. It's going to make everybody nervous when I'm at Doyle's Poorhouse this Sunday in Tuckerton for our Eagles watch party. All right, let's get some winners for you guys. I mentioned the Eagles. I got the under in that game, so you can throw that on to the ledger. I know what you guys are always looking for is my
Stone Cold Lock of the Century. Or the week.
Give me the Washington Commanders to cover the 9.5 against the Carolina Panthers. I think Washington wants to prove that they are still a high-powered offense, that the Ravens game was just a really good team. Carolina, not a good team. I think Jay Daniels has a big game tomorrow. Cover the 9.5 for my
Stone Cold Lock of the Century. Or the week.
I also like the Chiefs and 49ers under 47.5. As I mentioned, the Eagles under as well. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. Have a great weekend, everybody. All right, so for the YouTube-only crowd, you guys get all the picks each and every week here on 97.3 ESPN. So let me put my headset on. Let me recalibrate my board over here at the studio to make sure everything is, all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, so we can do this without any interruption. All right, let's do this. So, overall on the year, thank you for watching on my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share with your friends at Josh Hennig on Twitter X as well. So here is the breakdown of the schedule as a whole. We are 57-41-1 on the season in the NFL. We gave you last night on 97.3 ESPN, right here on my YouTube channel at Josh Hennig on YouTube. I gave you the under on the Saints team total. They only scored 10 points. The over-under was 17.5. All right? So we got you an idea of what's going on. I'll circle back to the Stone Cold Lead Pipe lock in just a bit, but here's the full slate of picks for the NFL that we got. So, I like the Bengals to beat the Browns by 5.5. And I know my buddy Andy McNamara somewhere is really going to be shaking his fist at me, but I think the Browns are a mess. And I think that the only way that this organization is going to be able to move on from Deshaun Watson is if they keep losing. They have to keep falling down that rabbit hole of despair before they're absolutely able to finally make the admission and move on. I think the Bengals are hitting their stride right now. I think that they showed against the Giants last week that even when they are pressured, they can find a way to win. And I think they're going to win this game probably by a touchdown. So that covers the 5.5. I also like the Lions and Vikings over 50.5 points. Remember, no Aiden Hutchinson for the Lions. He is done for the year. Horrible injury. Thoughts and prayers go to him. What a freak accident. I mean, someone just happened to fall on his leg and he broke his tibia and his fibula. So he's done for the year. And I think the Vikings defense has been kind of, I want to say been figured out. I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration. But I do think that the Lions have the tools offensively to slow down what the Vikings like to do best defensively, which is the Lions are a full throttle attack offense. And the Vikings are an offense that likes to take advantage of teams that are indecisive. The Lions are not an indecisive offense at all. So give me the over 50.5 points. I mentioned during the 97.3 ESPN FM radio portion of the show that my
Stone Cold Lock of the Century. Oh, the week.
I mentioned that pick is the Washington Commanders cover 9.5 against Carolina. I think what gets overlooked in all this is that Cliff Kingsbury has shown himself. He is one of the best offensive minds in all of football. He has done a great job at putting Jaden Daniel in a position to consistently be successful. And I think Carolina, look, they had a nice couple of games with Andy Dalton at quarterback, but let's be realistic. Andy Dalton has limitations. This is probably one of those games where you're going to see them win like 35-13 or maybe like 30-12 or something like that. It's going to be a blowout, folks. It's not going to be a close game. And again, the game is in Washington as well. I mentioned I like the Chiefs and 49ers under 47.5. Remember, when they faced in the Super Bowl, that was a very low-scoring game the entire way. And I gave you in the Super Bowl last year the under as well. That hit. This is even lower than the Super Bowl number. The Super Bowl number was just several months ago, 47.5. But remember, the Chiefs have injuries on the offensive side of the ball. The 49ers have injuries on the offensive side of the ball. These are two teams that are nowhere near 100%. So give me the under 47. And then two props in the NFL I want to give you guys. I like the Aaron Rodgers over 226.5 total passing yards versus Steelers. I know the Steelers are a very, very high-powered defense. They are very good. But if you watched, or if you stayed up to watch like I did, the Steelers-Cowboys game a couple weeks ago, Dak Prescott got some big stats against them. He had 352 passing yards. That's the second most passing yards he has had all season to Dak Prescott. And you don't think that Aaron Rodgers now with Devontae Adams can at least get me 230 passing yards if Dak got 352 against them? I mean, come on. Come on. And then Baker Mayfield over 255 passing yards versus the Ravens. By the way, Dak had his most passing yards this year against the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore, listen, we've been telling you for months here on my YouTube channel with me, Josh Hennig, and on 97.3 ESPN FM and on other shows I've jumped on, the Ravens defense is just not very good this year. They are the second worst pass defense in the NFL. Second worst. They have allowed bottom 10 in these categories to have the Ravens. They are bottom 10 in points allowed, passing yards allowed, passing touchdowns allowed, turnovers forced. Their pass defense is not good. So yes, I do like Baker Mayfield over 255 passing yards versus Baltimore. All right, let's go to the college football. We are 60-34 on the year, which means
Let's get it. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Thank you, DJ Kali. Let's hit these picks. So tonight, I don't like to do Friday night games, but this was too tempting for me to stay away from. So either I'm going to regret this pick totally, or it's going to be an absolute hit. BYU at home versus Oklahoma State. Give me the over on the team total, 31.5 points. Oklahoma State's defense is not good. They have struggled this year to play keep away from teams, and I'm just telling you guys, when I look at this game, I'm looking at a game that I certainly have some serious concerns, some serious worries about. Is this Oklahoma State team going to be able to stop anything BYU does? I think BYU is a good offense. I think they have shown this year that they are more than capable of making life miserable for opposing offenses. And I don't think it's no small thing. If you are the team that can make other people's life miserable, you're in a position to be successful. So give me BYU over 31.5 points. Again, they're at home. So Oklahoma State, it's bad that they're not a good defense, but they're on the road as well. Let's go to the Saturday slate of games for the college football games that I like this weekend. Let's go with, first of all, Wake Forest at UConn. I am 2-0 this year picking UConn. So I'm going to try to go 3-0 here. UConn minus 1.5 at Wake Forest. I don't know what it is that people, they don't respect UConn. They don't respect UConn at home. UConn has covered the spread in every game at home this year. So we're going to try to go 3-0 with UConn this year. They are minus 1.5 favorite at home versus Wake Forest, which means they could just win by a field goal. I think Jim Mora Jr. has done an amazing job at rebuilding the UConn Husky football program. This was a program that was in the dumps for years. It was so bad that nobody wanted them in their conference. Jim Mora Jr. has done an amazing job at bringing new life to that program. He has brought stability. He has brought structure. And it seems like the young men in that program are really buying into what he is selling them. So I really like that pick. I'm also going to go with, and this is going to be wild, New Mexico at Utah State, under 77.5. Now, I know what you're saying. Why is this total 77.5? Well, it's 77.5 because Utah State and New Mexico have two of the worst defenses in all of college football. But what is not figured into this total, this is where the sports books try to get you sometimes. They try to get you to not bet games too. They don't want you to make money. Remember, it is the job of the sportsbook operator to steal your money. That is their whole business model. That's why they're so rich, because they've been manipulating people for years to take your money. So this number should scare you, right? Oh my goodness, that's such a high total. Can they hit the total? Well, I don't think they will. Because what is not mentioned when you see that number is that New Mexico is actually a pretty good running offense. Their running attack is actually the best part of their offense. Utah State has the third worst run defense in college football. So that means New Mexico can just run the ball, kill the clock, and neither team's going to get enough points to hit 77. Sure, this could be still a high-scoring game. Sure, New Mexico could end up winning the game 35-30, or this could be one of those 40-30 kind of games. Well, guess what? Do the math. That still does not add up to 77.5 points. So give me the under on that. Also, we're going to continue the over-unders. I know that some of the guys out there love to call me Mr. Over-Under, but you know what?
Come on, let's get nuts.
Nebraska at Indiana under 49.5. Look, I think Nebraska's defense is really good. I have been impressed with what they've done some of the games this year, and these are two of the top pass rush defenses in college, in the Big Ten, I should say. I should actually read my notes. I actually have notes written down. It's actually typed out. You would think I would just read the notes instead of looking down and looking up. No, I should actually read these notes. These are two of the top pass rush defenses in the Big Ten. They are top 3 in every category at getting after the quarterback is Nebraska and Indiana. And remember, Nebraska has a freshman at quarterback. Dominic Raiola might be a very good prospect one day, but he's still a freshman. He is still going on the road to Indiana and is going to be under pressure in this game. So you know what? I'm going to trust the defense over offense. So we're going to go with another under 49.5.
Come on, let's get nuts.
Speaking of unders, South Carolina at Oklahoma. Give me the under 21.5 team total for Oklahoma. Ever since Jake Arnold was no longer playing quarterback anymore, the Oklahoma Sooners offense is averaging just 13 points per game. And South Carolina's defense in the last 3 games is allowing 20.3 points per game. And we gave you South Carolina last week to cover at Alabama, and they did. And part of the reason why is because of their defense. Kennard, Kilgore. These are NFL prospect type players. I was talking with a talent evaluator over the weekend, and he was an NFL talent evaluator, and he was telling me straight up, he said, Kennard and Kilgore are 2 guys that every NFL team is watching right now. And they are going to be on display, slowing down Oklahoma's offense. Listen, that's a young quarterback. Hawkins did not look good last week against Texas. And I think South Carolina is going to take that Texas tape and they're going to say, we know how to expose this young man. We know how to take advantage of him. He may make adjustments, but he is not going to be able to get over 21 points in this game. So give me the under 21.5 for the Oklahoma Sooners team total. 2 more picks for you before we get out of here. Colorado plus 2.5 at Arizona. Arizona is 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games. Arizona has not been the same without Jed Fish. I kind of feel bad for that program because, Jed Fish was building something special at Arizona, at the University of Arizona, and the only reason why he left is because basically the University of Washington told him they weren't going to pay him more. They were going to pay his assistants more. And Jed Fish felt so loyal to his other coaches who worked under him, his assistants, his coordinators, all the guys who work at the football for him. And he felt like this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get those men and their families the kind of money that you can't find just, under a seat cushion. You know what I mean? So you left an Arizona program now without some leadership. And I think Colorado is rolling right now. I think Colorado is showing you that it doesn't matter who is on the field. As long as Shedeur Sanders is still out there, the offense can score points. And it looks like Travis Hunter will be back this week to play for them. So I like Colorado. You could even go win outright, but I like the plus 2.5. If you want to go outright, it's a plus 115 on the money line for Colorado. And finally,
let's get it. Another one. Another one. Another one.
Arguably the biggest game of college football this weekend is Georgia at Texas. This is a huge showdown. You have 2 quarterbacks who are considered NFL prospects. You have 2 teams that will be contenders for the college football playoff. Georgia trying to stay in the conversation as well for the SEC championship. Texas has had an amazing year. I think Quinn Ewers and the Texas Longhorns are going to go out there and put on a show. This is not the same Georgia defense of years past. They have graduated a lot of young men over the years, half of them on the Eagles. And so they are not going to just go into this game and you can assume that they're going to have it all figured out. They're not. I think the Texas Longhorns are going to score a lot of points in this game, and I think Carson Beck is going to be playing from behind, chucking it all over the field for the Georgia Bulldogs. So this is going to be a high-scoring game, so give me over 57 in this game. Now, I will admit, I've seen certain books have it at 56.5, 57.5. I'm only going with the 57 because that is the general consensus number. So either one of those numbers, 56.5, 57.5, I see this as one of those 35-30, 42-35, 42-28 kind of games. I think Texas wins the game, but I think Georgia is going to put up points because at the end of the day, let's be realistic, Texas' defense is not that great, and neither is Georgia's. These are 2 quarterbacks who are trying to cement themselves as NFL prospects, trying to get big points for their teams, trying to put their teams in a position to be college football playoff contenders. All right, that's all the picks I got for you for a Football Friday. Thank you for watching here on my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. I appreciate everybody for tuning in to Football Friday Picks, part of the post show for 97.3 ESPN FM. Don't forget, if you want to watch the Eagles game and have a chance to win a Saquon Barkley jersey and you're in the South Jersey region, come out and join me this Sunday at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton for our 97.3 ESPN watch party. We'll have Saquon Barkley jerseys. We'll have one final pair of tickets to go see David Spade's comedy show in Atlantic City. Also, on top of all of that, I have passes for you to jump on the Skullville Fire Department haunted hayride. So, for those of you in Atlantic County, Ocean County, that's always a very popular item. I know we only have a few tickets left over to give away for that, so I will have those tickets with me this Sunday. So this is not we're going to mail it to you. You can win the jersey. We will hand it to you this Sunday. You can win the tickets for the haunted hayride this Sunday at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton. Also have some other prizes as well. I wasn't allowed to say it on the radio, but a little birdie told me that I may have some lotto tickets to give away as well this Sunday. So it's going to be Eagles Giants. It's going to be giveaways. It's going to be a great environment. I'm looking forward to it this Sunday at Doyle's Poorhouse in Tuckerton. Thank you, everybody, for watching on my YouTube channel. Thank you for letting me struggle through reading, typing, not writing, typing. It's been a long week. I'm looking forward to getting some sleep this weekend. So have a great night, everybody. I'll catch you back here after the weekend. We'll try to pop on for an Eagles post-game show. But if we don't get the chance to do that again, there's a lot going on in my life. I'm a very busy guy. Probably 90% of my work is never on the microphone or on the video camera. So, but I appreciate all of you for tuning in to the post-game show and everything that goes with that for the Football Friday picks. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and I'll catch you next time right here on my YouTube channel at Josh Hennig. Have a great weekend, everybody, and stay safe out there, whatever you end up doing. I know it's time of year. People have a lot of parties, so please be safe, drink responsibly, don't go crazy like Michael Keaton and Batman and get in trouble, okay? Don't do that. Have a good one, folks.